Hey, Rebels. Okay, so I am getting the message. The song is by Jasmine Sullivan. I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears, but I'm scared of loving you. It's reminding me of that question where people ask, would you rather be stuck with a bear or would you rather be stuck with a man? And you know what most people's answer was. Um, so I'm also hearing it's an impossible task. Why is it so much or too much to ask? And then we have concern down here when love seems to hate us. Now, we rebels, we're learning very closely to the actual definition of love, and not just the definition, but the action and behavior of what love actually is. We've grown from certain conditionings where, family members and others would just say, I love you, because it seemed like the appropriate, polite thing to say, or it seemed like the most, chain gang string along thing to say, to get their way, to put that emotion inside someone, not realizing that that emotion that they planted inside you was limerence or the desire but some icky stuff that it just wasn't love, right? So I'm not scared of lions, tigers, and bears, but I'm scared of loving you. Let's go ahead and see what spirit wants us to know, because I can talk forever just about that in itself. So we have intuitive Kev. Love it. Let me lay out these cards and I will be right back. All right, and we're back. Okay, so you were sent on a high honor mission, honey, and the message is that you have this Ice King energy in complete animosity of who it is that you are, what it is that you are about, and they did not think that you would be able to see the many facades that they laid and displayed in front of you. I feel this and I hear that you've been clocking the energy as things was going along. Not necessarily that you were looking for patterns. Also down here with the high honor belief, Spirit is very proud of you. Not that you were paying attention to the patterns or that it was necessary for you to keep a chart of the patterns. You were hearing things, you were seeing things, you were noticing things as time progressed. And it wasn't much time that you gave them. You pretty much let them bury themselves. All right. So spirit wants to give you this point of acknowledgement of the damage that you've done, Starseed. Here with the boss and destruction, honey. The chaos and madness that you brought about in this person's life. The fact that you noticed things as they were happening and you say, that's familiar. I've seen that before. Oh, wow, did you really let yourself say that as if I wasn't listening? Okay, well, let's see what other picture you're going to paint for me. And it's like watching a child doodle and they say, oh, mommy, it's a dragon. And you're like, oh, yeah, but this is an old ass person. This is someone where it's like you should have known how to draw inside the lines, to color inside the lines. But no, they're still drawing like they're a toddler. And what are they drawing? Their life. Not even realizing, not even paying attention to, not even caring about the fact that life is short. And they're still playing these minor games of madness. So Spirit says that you have this person very much so in an emotional state because they can't seem to trap you like they have with other people with their premature ass games. Nobody got time for that. Spirit is saying that they gave you a rough draft of an example of all the other things that you have experienced in your past. This person, whomever this Ice King energy is, or should I say was, because he's melting. He's melting. Look at the drops. He is melting and he is falling apart. Whomever this person is, they have given you a speed course of all the things that you've been through in the past, and maybe not even necessarily all the things, but examples of how others were able to get by and get over on you in those points and times that they said, hey, I love you. And it was always a I love you, but I'm going to do this. I love you, but I'm going to say this right to your face and you're not going to do anything about it. I love you, but I'm going to give you every explanation and I'm not going to talk to you much. I'm going to start yelling at you. Just all types of stupid stuff. So let's go ahead and get the next round because you live the experience. You are the boss of destruction and chaos. And you don't even intend on bringing chaos into other people's lives. It's just the fact that they come into your life with wanting to leech off of you. They see what type of kind-hearted person you are, confirmation. That one said, oh. But anyway, they see what type of kind-hearted person you are. And they're like, oh, well, I ain't got to work hard to do anything with this one. But that's where the competition starts, is that they feel that they don't have to do much to get by on you, that they can do things literally in your face, that they don't have to work so hard to hide things. And that's where they fuck themselves at, dead in the face. They feel that they don't have to work that hard to cheat, to lie, to steal, that all they have to do is ask and all they have to do is be themselves, because there's something about you, Rebel, that they believe, oh well, the rebel, they are very empathetic. So them being empathetic and sensitive to energy, they know that I have problems, so their projected problems are being projected onto you, and you are now like, interesting. So you just gonna throw your filth at my feet and think that I'm gonna do something about it. You know what? Let me collect this. And so when it's time for you to, gather your things, you're gonna take this shit right along with you. They also feel that you are so empathetic and that you are so sensitive that you won't look at them as someone who's actually trying to fuck you in the face, but that you will look at them as a project to be solved and resolved. And you know how that shit go. They love you, they hate you, they say you're trying too much, you're too nosy, and all this other babble. And all you were trying to do was help them, but you weren't even trying to help this fool. You said what you said, you meant what you said, you even shown what you meant, and you left it at that. I'm also getting this energy from this with intuitive Cav here. You stood on your morals. You stood on your morals, your principles, your values, and clearly told this person what you are about, who you are, and all that other good stuff that come with having quality morals, principles, and values. And they saw, they felt, thank you, Spirit, they felt how what you were saying, you were describing your disgust for people like them. So though they were around you, they did not realize how you were actually just entertaining yourself with time. And entertaining yourself with time, some of you were entertaining yourself with time like, oh, well, I realized that this is a lesson because something about this doesn't feel right. Let me see if I'm going to pass the test. And honey, you passed it. So Spirit, what more do you want us to know about this fugazi? Voodoo. Hoodoo. Voodoo. Hoodoo to voodoo. They thought that it was them. They thought that it was them. We gonna put this further down here because we want to keep it going. Okay. Okay, so this is potentially somebody. Oh my gosh. Spirit said hush. I really wanted to start saying Spirit said hush. Okay. And then Hyana came back. Whoa, baby. Divination. And evil eye. And down at the bottom, you have manifestation. Yes, honey. Though this evil eye is here, you protected yourself. I feel that you may have even possibly heard one of my reads where I say, hey, so pick a color. Now go research that color of the evil eye. You have turned this whole evil eye energy around and you used it for protection and guarding yourself to project back, giving them rightfully what is theirs. I'm seeing, I didn't never notice that. It looked like she got a split of the lip. It's kind of busted. It's kind of busted. Can you see that? Can you catch that? Yeah. Okay. But just took notice that. So you were very sharp with your tongue. You were very sharp with your tongue. You held back nothing. And the things that you did hold back is everything. I'm hearing Rihanna. I love the way you lie. Oh my baby. Spirit loves the way you lie. The things that you held back about yourself that you wanted them to, when they go back to their coven, when they went back to their cult, when they went back to their people of familiar energy, you wanted them to be able to tell those people every flawed thing about you. Not and so you put a target on your back, but just so when you pop out with what you actually do have, it's gonna confuse the hell out of their people, their coven, their cult. Like, wait, I thought you told me that Rebel was down bad. I thought you told me that you was doing so much for the Rebel, but you not even they're not even doing as much as they claim they did for you for they goddamn self. Bad energy, bad juju down. So here with the distant future, there are things that you have yet to hear about what this person has said, what they have done, and the energy that I'm getting is that you are not interested in even hearing. You're blocking them and anybody who you know to be their companion. You're blocking anybody who you know to be of their likeness. You are blocking the energy and the presence of anyone who was in their camp, in their coven, in their cult, their people. You are blocking even the ones who you would have qualified as decent people around them, even if it was a mother who loved them. Because honey, let me tell you something about mothers who love their sons. Their sons can do no wrong. Even if their son is doing wrong, they will let their sons get away with more than they would have let their abusive husband get away with, their abusive boyfriends get away with. So hopefully you catch that message. It's the rose-colored glasses for me. But anyway, so this Ice King is definitely being left in confusion, dazed and confused. Honey, I love that movie. All right, all right, all right. Matthew McConaughey, a lot of celebrities, a lot of stars up in that. And then that movie was about high schoolers smoking it, but it was mainly around this young boy. He was just being introduced to high school, and he was seeing the ways of high schoolers, and he was kind of like getting himself initiated into their club, getting himself initiated into their club. Confirmation. So this was an initiation. What do they call it? Mm, one of those rituals where it's like a cause for embarrassment. So you may have even dealt with not necessarily people, well, definitely, obviously, people who are familiar to this person's energy, but you may have dealt closely with someone who they knew, whether it was whomever this person is, their sibling, or you went to school with them type thing, and you've grown up and they are still doing this same ass shit. But anyway, um this Ice King, he is so, like, honey, miserable. I even see this motherfucker crying. I was about to call him something very disrespectful, but we gonna leave it alone because just the way that they are living their life is disrespectful enough. Rebels, I just got a drop down message of, it does not matter how many people you know. It matters who you know. You know how they say in the workforce, it doesn't matter, this, that, and that. It matters who you know that can get you in good. So the work that you've been doing on yourself, it's not about how many people you know. It's about who you know. So even if you have a small group, or even if it's just you and your community, will come in and it's going to find you. But as well, Spirit would like for you to know that the community that you are going to have is going to be split up in categories. Not that you don't appreciate or deal in the other parts of the people who are a part of your certain said communities. It's just that you understand you don't need to be all up under somebody in order to know that they appreciate you, or in order for them to know that you appreciate them, or that y'all click, right? So with the hoodoo voodoo that your skill set, your studying that you have done, the rituals that you have practiced. And I'm not saying that you had to get a chicken's foot or anything like that. Just how you, the ritual of how you love on yourself, the the things that you abide by, to constantly show respect of yourself, no matter how someone else attempts to disrespect you. You continue to go on the fuck about your day. Yes, you do. You get up in the morning, you do your thing. Before you go to bed at night, you do your thing. Ain't nobody stopping anything about your rituals, your routines, or how you care about yourself, and the common things about you that you make sure are intact. Honey, you ain't overly splurging on anything because you making sure your bills are paid. You making sure that your kids, as they want my throat to go out, as much as your kids might have their own madness that you have surpassed, you make sure that you don't take out your aggression on your kids because of something somebody else did. That is love. Being able to know what's yours is yours, and what somebody else is going through is not to affect anything that you already got going on. Honey, I understand why you're not afraid of lions, tigers, and bears, but you're afraid of loving this motherfucker, because to love this motherfucker with me, you giving up so much. You abandoning so much of you just to make this motherfucker comfortable, just to make sure that they ice don't melt, because they want to stay frozen. They want to stay frozen. And why am I getting Superman? That old Superman movie when they were in the cave and they were talking about the kryptonite. Honey, you can't, this person, I don't know if they found you or if you found them, but I doubt that you went looking for them. So let's go ahead and clear that up now. I doubt that you went looking for them. This person extended an interest out to you and not realizing that they were in the presence of their own kryptonite, baby. So yeah, we gonna have to laugh at this one. Little chuckle, little giggle. It ain't gotta be long. I mean, heck, it's not even belly hurting laugh yet. Based upon what you gonna find out in the distant future about what this person said, because it's gonna find. They want it to find you. Not only do they want it to find you, they want it to define you. But based upon whatever residue, remnants of information they get back to you, honey, it's going to be so laughable. So hold your laughs. Just like they say, hold your applause, hold your laughs, okay? Depending on how rough and stuff in their Afro bust they are, and how they rage, you may want to, save the laugh for when you get home. Just go on about your day. And then once you get home, just do your regular routine and your rituals. And when you had that moment of pause, just go for it. Just go completely hilarious. Honey, my cheeks are hurting. I'm not even smiling that hard. It's madness. Anyway, so with boss, yeah, you focusing on yourself, you focusing on your work, your labor, your efforts, you focusing on your harvest. You say, even though winter has gone and it's eventually come back around, honey, you are not just doing what others are doing, where they're working during the winter time to pop out during spring and summer. And you say all year round, everything that you invest yourself in is about your abundance. So therefore, you got to keep it afloat. Okay, keep it afloat. No hope floats. Okay, no hopes. No hopes. You keeping it afloat. Okay. So with destruction and honor, then we say, Spirit, once again, Spirit wanted to come back around and let you know that you are very high honored. And what you have done, unfortunately, your role in this film has ended, and it's time for you to go on to, your to your spinoff. Um to your spinoff series, and keep on living your life, because your spinoff series, it's going to have a little bit of a pinch of drama, but it's going to be a lot of comedy. It's going to be a lot of educational focus. It's going to be a lot of all the good balance of stuff, right? But theirs is it's about to get dark over there. It's about to get dark. It's about to get hazy. And for them to try to move them clouds out the way to be able to see in front of them, honey, it's very foggy. It's very foggy over there, all right? Here with divination and emotional pain and the soulmate. Yes, this person was a soulmate of yours, but as we address over here at Rebel Earth Oracle, soulmates and twin flames, you have many of them. They are your lessons. Now, the soulmate that comes into your life, that you meet and greet, and that is actually your companion. Not all of us have that. Not all of us have those. So when you hear soulmate or you hear twin flame, do not hear that this is the end all be all, because that is how you fuck yourself, all right? Remember, soulmates and twin flames are experiences, they are lessons, and we are all here to experience each other and learn from each other. And that does not mean everybody get a turn. That does not mean that you do with that person what you did with the other. So cancel that shit out. So, confirmation, divination, your ways of tapping in with yourself, your ways of remembering those memories that you have that are muscle memory to you, and your feelings and your presence, and even you've been getting a lot of deja vu, even. Um, those things, those are coming along to let you know that you are getting this energy of projection thrown at you from whomever this Ice King energy is. And it could be a whole kingdom of this motherfucker. Okay? Like fucking minions and shit. Your divination, your everything is everything, and everything that you've been tapping into to help be of a resource to you is telling you that projection is coming your way. They're shooting them like bow and arrows in the sky with the flame at the tip, and before it even hits like the highest peak, the flame then went out and the arrow just drops down and it hits them on top of their head, because they not shooting at a proper distance, honey. They can't even measure or equate where the heck you are. It's bad. It's bad out here. So your manifestations are fine. They're safe because you have done a great job by keeping to yourself what you needed to keep to yourself. There is this understanding that you may had wanted to help this person out in certain ways, but something about you said, nah, not yet. Keep it to yourself. Nah, you know what? Let me see a little bit more. And then once this person is out of your space, or you saw what you need to see, you was like, you know what? I'm glad I kept that to myself. I'm even in the energy of some of you was thinking about moving somebody in to your humble abode. And honey, didn't spirit help you by stopping you from sharing that? Because had you shared whatever it was, whether it was your money, whether it was whether it was your money, or whether it was your household, whether it was a form of wisdom, whatever the case may have been, had you shared that, this person would actually put in more effort to try to perceive them, try to make themselves seem more disciplined on your level and willing to be guided by you. And that's all it is. They want to be guided by you to get what it is that you got. And they don't want you to throw a fit once they take it and move right along and act like it was them who came up with this shit the whole damn time. So at the bottom of this deck, we have create with me. Spirit, what is it about this create with me energy that has come to speak to us? Okay, show off. Baby. Okay. All right. If you can read it, go ahead and read it, honey. My mouth is quiet until the rest of these cards come out. Not that I don't know what it is. Uh, just, just, oh, all the things, mountains. All right, let's move that up a tad bit more. And then you have mountains at the bottom. Honey, you are moving like those mountain goats. It's one of those amazing sights to see. How do mountain goats just so easy on the smallest little fragment of a mountain rock, just jumping, just effortlessly, and stopping and taking breaking, getting the water that comes from the mountain, the salted water that comes from the mountain of nourishment, and take even their babies. Now, the thing about mountain goats, they have these hairs at the bottom of their feet that's kind of like memory foam that helps them stay in place of whatever that smallest little crack is, honey. And you, honey, baby, spirit so proud of you. Anyway, so here was show off, honey. You showed them You showed them. And not only did you show them, they wanted to show off you as just mm, as theirs, as their puppet, as their form of manipulation of their project. They wanted you to be on their roster, but as quiet as the help kept, oh, as quiet as the help was, who roster? You ain't know nobody roster at all. Anyway, yeah, when I see this card, what it always take me to is the gender expression. So there's definitely an energy of this person wanted to put you in the format of gender role. Okay, that they are kind of concerning when it comes down to their gender identity, which is making me think of somebody who I entertained my time with for a little bit, and there was definitely questions about this person and their gender identity. Oh, the way that they show out for the street and for the world, but the things that they wanted to do behind closed doors, baby, we not gonna get all into my bedtime stories because honey, I might as well go ahead and start on that book. Yeah, of course I'm gonna change the names, but anyway, change the names, change the locations. Heck, might even change my name. Anyway, so this gold digger energy. Now, all this is behind you. All this is behind you. Though, once again, you've done amazing. You've done amazing. Um, okay, so the gold digger energy. Yeah, there's nothing nobody can come back and tell you about this person that's gonna surprise you. They can come up with the most entertaining, multicolored doodle of a kindergarten drawing of, oh yeah, and they did this and they did that, and realize people, kindergarten, they play this game of telephone. Once again, Spirit said they love the way you lie because due to what they shared with others and due to how they made themselves as well as you be perceived by others, the way the story is going to come back around to you, don't entertain it with any back and forth because they were playing a game of telephone. So if you don't know what the game of telephone is, if I was to say apple, oranges, and pears, when that's said by the next person, they might say mangoes, oranges, pears, and bananas and apples. There's always going to be an add-on and more add-on. So by the time they get back around to you, honey, who cares what the hell it started as? Who cares the picture that it was painted? Once again, you are focused on you, and what you are focused on, your rituals and your routines. What the fuck does what they gotta say matter at all? Ain't nothing they can tell you about yourself because you are doing so well. Once again, going up these mountain peaks, going up these mountains, you're going mountain by mountain just because sometimes you just want to see what more knowledge is out there for you. All right, but you are no longer in the space of dealing with their kind. You've learned, you closed that book, you closed those chapters, and maybe who knows, years from now, you might take a sneak peek just to see like what type of dumb stuff have y'all ass came up with now, and so I can realize what to look for when it comes to other people and what they might have learned from y'all dumb asses. So create with me. Spirit is so happy with you that you got into your evil eye energy, that you kept your cool, and that you stayed who the heck it is that you are, and just, baby, you did that. You did that. You did. You did. Let's go ahead and look at you going forward. Going forward, you are committed to yourself, being the boss of yourself. You are committed to even your engagements. You are committed to your promises. You are committed to planning for your future, even though you know that your future has yet to expose itself, because the best future that you know of right now is your presence. It's your present. But you know that the more that you do today, the better your tomorrow will be. Okay? And yeah, there's going to be more energy vampires coming your way, but Spirit know that you can handle it, and your cutoff game is going to get so much quicker. And if you, the fact that you are also learning, you have also learned how to protect and guard yourself from those who are very reactive in this energy, vampire energy, you know, those who are quick to pull a trigger, flip a switch, per se, on you. And those energies you recognize now. So you should, you know, you got to be careful because why am I getting 50 Shades of Gray? But I'm also getting Obsession. But I'm also getting like those type of movies, like Enough, where people put on so I don't feel that that would be too tough for you to be able to realize it's in your presence, especially if you're not a materialistic type of person. Because if you notice that someone is a materialistic type of person, you realize what they lead with. For example, I remember just last year there was this guy. I was at a store, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say I was at a dollar store. Put out there, why was there's no shame in my game. I was at a dollar store, and this guy, he decided, I was being nice. I told him that he can go ahead and line, go ahead of me in line because I needed to go back and get something. He took that as, you could see it in his face, like, oh my goodness, a woman being nice to me, whatever. So I gave him my number after the fact, and it was just one of those lollygag days. I felt like entertaining stupidity, test driving my skill set. And I read his energy right there in line. And especially because he was like, hey, so what do you like to do? I'd like to take you out on a movie date. And he was like, yeah, I really like movies. So he told me at that moment that he was a Netflix. No, he didn't directly say that he was a Netflix and chill type of guy, but just his extension of how much he really liked movies. Yeah, I do. I spend a lot of my downtime watching movies, he said. Okay, cool. So I left the store and I gave my number in the store. I even called him from my number, right? And once I left the store, he chased me down the street. Hey, I just want to make sure that this is the right number. Dude, I just gave you the number. And I called you from my phone to make it so you were comfortable with understanding we both had each other's number. So you chased me down to get my number again? Okay, whatever. So I get home and this man, I was not planning on answering his call that day because I did tell him that I had other things to do because he said that this was his day off and that he was a college student and he was older than me, that he was a college student. No shame to college students that's, up there in age. But anyway, that he was a college student, that he owned his own house, that he had 2 cars, that he worked at, I believe it was Target. So his schedule was pretty booked. This man called me twice every hour for 12 hours. And then I blocked the number. And then the next day, and I even sent him a text message after the first 2 calls telling him, hey, I am occupied. I do have things that I have to handle and focus on today. But this person still called me two times every hour for 12 hours, not playing at all. So after that, I blocked his number. The next day, he called me from another number, acting like he did not see that I blocked him. Now, the way that my phone works is that I can block your number and I can also hide the blocked numbers so I don't have to be disturbed with that energy. So I saw that he called and he saw that he was blocked. And when you call my phone and you're blocked, it says that your call has been forwarded to let you know that you've been blocked. Now, it does not do that with the do not disturb, right? But he called while he was on block, and then he called from a second number that he had and sent me text messages. Hey, this is such and such that you met at the dollar store. This man started sending me pictures of his cars and sending me pictures of his apartment building, which was not a house. But I guess a house is a home, is an apartment, whatever. But then me knowing how to research owners of properties, he didn't own it. He didn't own it at all. Though he could potentially could have owned something someplace else, whatever. Anyway, but this man started sending me pictures of Valentine's Day teddy bears, and this is nowhere near Valentine's. Okay, this is good and in July. Sending me Valentine's Day teddy bear pictures with the teddy bears covered with money, just like money just showered over the teddy bears. And honey, when I finally did call him back, I did. Even after he sent me other pictures that had money in it, I told him straightforward, You led with money, and matter of fact, I didn't immediately tell him that he led with money. What I said to him was, "Hey, I don't think that we align. I don't think that I, plain and simple. I don't want to waste your time, um, and I don't want to waste my time." And he was like, "Why would you say something like that?" And I spewed out to him very softly and in my feminine voice, the coddling voice of the things that were flags for me. Like, hey, so educate yourself going forward. This is the way that you showed yourself, you were leading with money. The way that you exposed yourself, you were leading with money. I might as well have turned around and asked you to cash at me. He's like, cash app you what? I mean, really got mad and triggered. But you led with money, right? So, Rebels, the overall message is pay attention to what people lead with. Continue to pay attention to how people lead with, because they feel that that's their best quality. And most people out here are leading with what they look like, who they know, and how much money they get, when we all know money is going to be spent. So even the money you have now, you're not having that unless you have accumulated different streams of income. So, Rebels, continue to focus on yourself. Okay, continue in your divination and the manifestation that you are gonna continue in ways of being feeling other people's energy of what they're trying to project on you, that they don't want to be responsible for their own emotions. They don't want to be responsible for how they failed themselves by even trying with you and not succeeding, whether that was succeeding in your downfall or whether that was succeeding in their level up of having you, and as well at the same time letting that be your downfall, because the only person whose task you are trying to negotiate, that you need to negotiate, that you need to make sure are proper and in place with your rituals and your routines, is you, Rebel. So let's go ahead. There it is. Split the deck. Death. So therefore, it's a rebirth of a time for you. 36, and it says solid ground. Without a solid foundation, you will have trouble creating anything of value. It is time to evaluate which part of your lives are solid and which areas require some fine tuning. And I also saw freedom, okay? Freedom from thereof. And then you have understanding. So you get it, you understand. You letting that clown die out though. You get it, you understand, but you just can't and you don't want to. So it says deep replenishing. Confirmation. Deep replenishing. Cleanse yourself of all this funk and energy. And then you have awakening. Now let's get you this card over here. And it says the gut feeling. Follow your gut feeling. Follow your gut feeling. 0440. Follow your gut feeling, Rebels. You know you got it. And protection with Armadillo. You are entering a phase where in order for you to be in alignment with your intentions and co-create your best life, you may have to be discerning and say no to many things that have been holding you back in the past. Entire message. Well, Rebels, I love you. But as always, go love on you. Go make your life do what it needs to do for you, Rebels. And take care. Go, Rebels.